What's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Karen and today I want to share some tips, stuff that I've picked up along the way. I've been on my hair journey for approximately 1 year and I've learned a lot. So I just want to more or less share what I've learned with you guys. Okay, these tips are tips for starting a healthy hair journey. And trust me, before I started this journey, I was sure that relaxed hair, chemical processed hair, could never thrive, could never grow. And that is actually what prompted my search for whatever I could find to ensure that this time my hair would actually thrive. I've been texlaxed for 2 years now, and before that I was natural for 4. Before that I was relaxed. Actually, if I knew back then what I know now, I'd still be natural because I actually miss my natural hair. I love my natural hair. My natural hair is about a 4B type hair. Anyway, I'm texlaxed now, and more than likely I'll remain like that. Maybe transition at some point. Sometimes I think I would start transitioning like yesterday, but so far I've not actually decided to do it yet. Enough of that, let me start with the tips that I've promised. Okay, my very first tip is to research. Research. For me, this is like foundation. It's like the fundamentals for starting a hair journey, because before you start, you have to know what exactly you're getting into. So the only way to actually do that is to research. Just gather information as much as possible, and then when you have all the information, I guess, then you'd be able to, as they say, take the good and leave the bad, and play around with the information and see how it works for you, because everyone's hair journey doesn't depend on anybody else's hair journey. Of course you would learn from them, but your hair journey would be basically an individual hair journey. It would be something that is personal to you and to you only. So you're researching hair products, you would research hair techniques, detangling as opposed to using a tangle teaser, finger detangling I should say, as opposed to using a tangle teaser, as opposed to using a wide tooth comb. You're researching setbacks. Researching setbacks is actually very important, because there you can learn from somebody else's mistake. And of course you're researching results. Of course, if you're researching, you wanna take advice from someone who you can actually see a progression with. You actually can see that what they're doing actually working. So that's part of taking the good and leaving the bad. Researching hair regimes is also very important, even though you'll have to actually customize it and make it your own, but actually you have a foundation to start. So there you have it. Step 1, you need to do your research. Step 2, set realistic goals, which is very, very important. You'll find that you learn the different abbreviations when you're on your hair journey. There's cross strap length, there's mid back length, there's waist length, there's hip length, there's shoulder length, there's armpit length, there's neck length, there's even knee length. But based on where you're starting, set realistic goal. On average, based on my research, your hair would grow approximately half an inch a month, and that's like on average. So you might have hair that would grow less than half an inch, and then your hair might grow more than half an inch. It depends on genetics and all that stuff. So when you're setting a goal, take one step at a time. As the saying goes, you need to crawl before you walk. So don't try to get up and run one time. Take it one step at a time. If you're starting at neck length, maybe just on average, it may not be exactly like this, but you can probably set a goal that within the next 6 months or so you want to achieve shoulder length hair. I'm just saying, it's just an example. But don't start at neck length and think at the end of 6 months you'll miraculously reach brush stroke length. That is not a realistic goal. So be real. And then depending on where you start, depending on the health of your hair when you're starting, you may actually need to do a trim. Because if you have ends that are uneven, ends that are split, then you'd just be basically wasting your time, because split ends tend to travel up, so then you won't actually see the growth when the ends of your hair are continuously breaking off. So you may need to trim. So once again, step 2, set realistic goals. Step 3, I think that after you've researched, after you set your goals, let your focus be on the right thing. Focus on the health of your hair as opposed to the length of your hair. Because no matter what you do, unhealthy hair, you will not see the growth in unhealthy hair. Healthy hair, you would see growth. So focus on health. Focus on getting your hair actually healthy. Your strands healthy as opposed to wanting them to grow long. If they are healthy, they will eventually grow, and you'll actually see the length of your hair, because the ends of your hair won't break off, or it won't break off as much as if your hair is not healthy. So keep focused. Focus on the right. Okay guys, step 4 is simply be patient. After you've done your research, you've set your realistic goals, your focus is in the right direction, just be patient. Just sit and wait, and once your hair is healthy, you will actually see the growth. As the Bible says, and I have to tell myself this a lot, be anxious for nothing, including hair growth. Just be patient. Step 5 is listen to your hair. And you can listen to your hair simply by looking at your hair. You look at your ends, check to see if they are healthy, check to see if there's any split ends. And while you're looking at your hair, you're feeling your hair. This is one way of listening to your hair, because your hair would speak to you. Your hair is actually vocal. Your hair talks to you. It's just up to you to listen and to understand your hair language. Understand whether or not your hair feels dry and brittle, which means that your hair needs moisture. And we talk about products in a separate video. Your hair needs moisture, or whether your hair may need protein. And I have realized that processed hair, obviously because the protein bonds have been broken by the chemicals, it would need more protein as opposed to natural hair. And that's based on my research. You tell me if I'm wrong. And being able to come up with that balance may be a bit tricky at first, but once you're listening to your hair and you're learning about your hair, you'll eventually figure it out. I've not gotten to that place yet, but I'm getting there. Okay, we're on to step 6 now. Wow, and this is the most tedious part, I think. Second in line to actually doing your research. Is product search and hair regime experiment. Wow. Remember that this is your hair and this is your hair journey. So this is basically your research. Somebody else's hair regime, somebody else's favorite products may just not be yours, and that's simple as it is, because this is your hair. You may find a hair regime that you might be able to adopt and it might work for you, but then you may not. You may have to tweak it a bit to facilitate your hair type. For me, normally this process is the longest. I'm still doing my product search. I found a couple products and I would eventually share them with you, but in terms of combining them together, because there's no way I could use one particular product all the time. I need to switch it up based on the needs of my hair, based on me listening to my hair. understanding my hair language and understanding what my hair needs and when my hair needs it. Whether my hair needs protein, whether my hair needs moisture, whether my hair needs like a nice balance of the both. So product search and experiment, wow, it's an ongoing process. Once you've actually found that those products, because it's hardly ever likely one, it would be a combination of products. Once you've found them, and once you've got your hair regime down pat, just be consistent. Consistency is the key. If it's working for you, work it. Simple as that, just work it. Okay, number 8. Number 8 is protective styling. And protective styling simply is a style that you use to protect your hair, mainly the ends of your hair, which is the oldest part of your hair and the weakest part of your hair. I suggest that you can probably do protective styling consistently for 1 month out of the entire year. And I think that your hair would be very appreciative of it. You can protect your hair by using wigs, weaves, braids, or simple bun-in hairstyles. Any other hairstyle where the ends of your hair are tucked in nicely and protected. If you can do that consistently for 1 month, I think that it would be very helpful and your hair would appreciate it. So you see, step 7 ties into step 8. Be consistent. Protective styling consistently for 1 month. Step 9 is love and appreciate your hair. You'd never have my hair, I'd never have your hair, and that's just how it is. So a lot of times, because of where you may be at in your hair journey, you may wish, and this is real talk, or want the length of somebody else's hair, want the texture of somebody else's hair. But the reality of it is, it won't happen. God has given you what's on your head, and you should love and appreciate your hair. If you don't love and appreciate your hair, you will not be willing to take care of your hair, you will not be willing to listen to your hair, and then this whole hair journey process would not be as effective as it could have been if you had simply loved and appreciate what God has given you. Love your hair strands, whether your hair be 3A, B, C, 4A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever it is. Love your hair and appreciate your hair, and in turn you'll be willing and ready to actually take care of your hair and be well on your way to a healthy hair path.